She'd never have to go into a new classroom, learn a whole new routine with another teacher. That was just a bonus in her school that we had that opportunity. Yeah. Thank you.
I think the most easily transmitted information to a teacher that they can handle with is teaching the students with different types of information. Visually is so much more productive. My mum used to imagine me with big, little ears and really big eyes.
Yeah.
And I think that in most situations where the information is being presented to me physically and visually, I've actually been able to understand it and process it so much better. Usually I actually process it a lot quicker too than everyone else.
Thank you. Another question? Yes.
Question for Reece. You're talking a bit about your obsessive behaviours, like pulling things apart, and when you're sort of about 16, about reading all those books. What did you do when you were sort of 4 or 5? Maybe this is a question for your mum. I just want to understand what your obsessive behaviours were.
Lego. What else, Mum?
You're obsessed with going to the desert, and we all had to make plans about going to the desert, and you drew pictures endlessly of going to the desert and how many cans of Coke we would take and everything. And then when we finally
drink something in the desert.
we finally got to go to the desert, you weren't interested anymore. And that's what you did.
Took too long.
Yeah, no. By the time we caught up with an obsession, he would often move on to another obsession, but it was topics he got obsessed with, and it came out a lot in his drawing and his play.
Yeah, I was very expressive about things visually and drawing and that, and always playing with my own imagination by creating the scenarios and the life. I can't believe I didn't tell you guys this one. We were in the car driving up to Northern Territory, and we were playing sound games where you make a sound and everyone's got to guess what the sound is. Anyway, they were going nuts trying to work out the sound I was making, and it took them ages, and then they finally gave up, and then about 2 hours later I was like, fine, I'll tell you.
Finally.
And I said it was Skippy communicating to Flipper.
And giving him a secret message.
Yeah, we got him a secret message. It was in more
We wanted to kill him.
Hey, I'm sorry if my imagination just got that wild.
Another question? Yes.
I've got an 8.5-year-old who loves reading, and she will never repeat a book. I'm just wondering, do either of you go, like, I think, Reece, you said you read, a couple of times series, but Tiana, do you ever reread books?
Sometimes I do if I really enjoyed the book, but like if you read a book, then you pretty much know what happens. So it's pretty boring. But then I have read it again. I'm like, oh, I didn't really pick up on that. So it actually really helps you if you reread a book again. So,
But most of the
yeah,
time,
most of the time I don't.
she won't. So she's got her 97 fairy books, and she's going to keep them. I said, sell them on eBay, I'll get lots of money. And she goes, no, I'll keep them for my children. What if you don't have a girl? That's all right. She's got to keep them though. So, no, we get lots of collections. I've introduced her to the library finally. She will borrow and take them back. Yeah, I'm rereading a lot.
Well, I realised that the fact that I would actually miss things within text was actually happening, so I reread quite a few books just so I knew the concept so well that I could actually write a thesis on it, I guess.
Thank you. Any more questions? Yep.
Have you any recollection of whether it's the vivid information or sensory input or what that was keeping you awake at night? Because I'd like some sleep at the same time.
Don't buy the lamp.
That's a tough one. A good one, though. I'd have to say that learning to let go of a lot of things. Being able to just go, well, right now, I'm just tired.
So it's still processing sort of days?
Yeah, well, the amount of information you're going through takes a while to go through, but I always take time out to wind down at the end of the day and do something that does wind me down play a computer game, read a book, have a drink and talk to my housemate, or just anything like that.
Defrag.
Yeah, defrag I used to call it. Like defragging the computer because it always gets cluggy and
Like
doesn't
you
work
said,
very
though,
well.
you then wake up the next morning ready to just jump on board with that last thought thing. So that could be playing a part, I guess. Because if I gave him a computer game as the defrag, I'm thinking he's just going to want to cheat. So he'd just be up at 2 ready to
Yeah, I'd imagine it's difficult. I don't think...
So maybe maturity.
Yeah, it really does make maturity a big difference. I don't know, Mum, you got anything for this? You got anything good that used to get me sleep?
That with Tiana, she did sleep. When she got to sleep, she slept well. But when she started school and she didn't have a lot of expressive language, I would, when she'd lie in bed and take her a long time to get to sleep, I'd be patting her and come on, go to sleep. But I used to say a whole thing about her day. So what we'd do is, oh, you've just got changed your pyjamas. What did you do before that? Oh, I brushed my teeth. Oh, what did you do before that? Oh, I had tea. What did you do before that? And we'd go through her day, and then, because she never told me anything about what she did at school, but then when we got to, oh, and I picked you up from school, what did you do before that? And then she'd actually say, oh, so-and-so's blah, 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 and she'd tell me a little piece of her day. So it was actually defragging as well, and getting everything out, but we had to do it step by step. Now when she gets in the car, she tells me the whole day without me even asking. But that's how I got her to become that way. So even if I started in the morning, oh, you woke up and you had breakfast, then what did you do? Then what did you do? What happened next? And that was just our defragging. And that got her to sleep. By the time she got to the end of the day, she's asleep. So that was a piece of it. So you had something too?
Yeah.
That's exactly what Mum used to do for me as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the thoughts going through my mind and they were just going in circles.
Yeah.
So Mum, if I was upset, she used to sit me down and I would just jabber on until it finally came out clear. And it would be something little or something big, whatever. But getting it out, and I guess with maturity, I just learned to do that to myself.
Yeah. And having routine, that sort of thing, having a routine and the slow down, wind down routine.
Rules and regulations make it so that if new information's coming in, because we're already being bombarded by so much information, it's a lot easier to take.
But you were
when there's a structure.
you were just way overstimulated. I mean, at the end of the day, I was conking out and he wasn't. The rule was you stay within that door and you don't come out. Forgot to mention don't jump off your wardrobe and land on your brother's bed. I forgot that.
Like that.
And I know, like Donna Williams has also commented on things like not being within a metre of an alarm clock and all that sort of stuff. Did you have that same sort of experience? Did you know of?
I wasn't in that way. I wasn't really repulsed by things in that kind of way.
Instructed?
It stimulated you. You would get stimulated very easily. So the less there was around.
Yeah, the less is around. I've taken that to my own living. Like I have a bed in my room, my clothes, and a stereo. That's it. With only things that I like. Like I've taken out the power saving globe because I know it irritates me. And actually, a very good present I got from my friends for my 21st. It's a light that's got this moon-shaped one on the top of it, but the actual colour that comes out of it is a really nice shade, and it's very pleasing and relaxing. It's a very subtle orange. It's because it's a low frequency, it makes it really relaxing. My room is basically a meditation place.
Time for one more question, I think. Yes?
I was just wondering if Megan could tell us how she decided and how you did tell Tiana about her diagnosis. Why did you wait till 9? Had you talked about it before that?
No, not really. She wasn't aware, even if up until 5 years of age, even though I spoke about it in front of her, she wouldn't have had a clue what was going on. Even 6 maybe, sorry. But when she got to school and I was in grade 3, in grade 3 and grade 4, she started coming home and saying things. So she was giving me those cues and I was getting stuck for words going, oh, what do I do? What do I say to her? So she was coming home, why aren't they going out with an aide and going into another room and having to get extra work? Or why can't I read like them? She was not reading like them. Then it came to playing with the other kids. She wasn't getting what they were doing. So she was like, why can't I play that game? Why are they changing the rules all the time? She hated them when they changed the rules. And so she liked her 6 friends because they were predictable and she knew them so well. And then when they weren't playing the games, she was getting confused. So it was her cues. And she was coming out. How'd I say it to her? I got help. Her psychologist, she gave me some ideas. My husband and I spoke. There was a book, I think, and one day I did say it to her and I thought, oh, God, I just said it like, blah, you're autistic. What? She was really like, what? What's that? Like, okay, we'll keep this simple. And it was just basically, you know, you learn a lot by your eyes and you like to touch things and feel things and you can learn through doing things and real life experiences and, yeah. So, but it was done with a psychologist as well. So we got some ideas with her too. But she was ready to hear that and she was asking questions.
I was actually quite relieved when after it, when I got all sad, when my friends were drifting away, I actually got quite happy because some of those friends weren't treating me as nicely as Kelsey was. So I was actually like, oh, they weren't really my friends. So I decided to open my heart to other people and they treated me more better. So I was actually...
You understood yourself better as well. She realised, oh, I don't have to have things the same now. I can try and have possibilities. So opened the door to the psychologist being able to teach her more life skills. So, and where? Does that help?
Just an important fact on that as well. Just another hint for parents. If a kid tries to do something different and you feel that they're going to hurt themselves by trying, let them, because the best way I learned from things was going through them myself. Just be there to pick them up.
Yeah. And that played a big part with her friends as well. I understand what you're saying. That I'd send her to school some days and I'd be driving off in tears going, no, get out, you've got to learn that lesson. She still had to feel things and come home sad. But as you said, we're always there to pick up the pieces. Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Megan and Tiana and Reece. It's been wonderful hearing you all talk today. It's been amazing.
On the table outside there's the education brochure, the workshops that are coming up, or if there is something you would like us to present, please feel free to send me through an email. Thank you.
Do we have presentations?
Sorry guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks.
I just roll it over to now, but I'm going to be blown up.
Yeah, that's
Why isn't this pausing, Mum? Why isn't this stopping?
It's amazing to see